Hello, folks. This is Ty Dillelo from Game Over Winnipeg, and I'm pleased to be joined by Braden Mann. We're going to talk about the Winnipeg Jets tonight, defeating the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1 in overtime. Uh, Goals from Mark Scheifele were decisive as the Jets scored with 1 minute regulation and scored 30 seconds into the overtime to steal 2 points and send the Jets fans home with a victory. Braden, thoughts on the game tonight, and how happy are we to see the Jets pick up a couple?
Very happy to see the win. Obviously, expected that against Chicago. They've gotten a lot better this offseason, but I think they're still a bottom 10 team in the league. I was excited to see the Bedard show, of course. Didn't think he was too amazing tonight. In fact, the best Bedard highlight was Neil Pionk, I think, hip checking him. I thought that was an awesome hit. I'd love to see way more hip checks. But game tonight, bit of a snoozer until the end. The Jets pulled it out, got 2 wins, and everyone goes home happy. So that's great, and 2 points, like you said. But yeah, no, I thought overall good game. It was good to see Hellebuck continue to be strong, and it was good to see Mark get two.
Yeah, obviously Connor Hellebuck, big story to start the. He was great again. In the past, he's kind of notorious as a bit of a slow starter. Where maybe he takes 10 games or so to get into his Vezina form, but then he really turns it on. But for him to come out and have a fantastic night against Edmonton, the shutout against McDavid and Draisaitl, and then only allowing however many shots it was tonight. It's impressive, and it's he's going to need to play like that. As the Jets lost a goaltender today that we'll talk about in a bit. He might have to play a little bit more games this year than he wants. Barring injuries or anything like that. So for him to start like that is great. And then also for the Winnipeg Jets, to get a win in the home opener. Attendance that we had tonight. I think that we're only missing, 7 fans, which is about a 1,500 person increase from what it was a year ago today. And this was also with the fact that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were playing a soul game at the same time as the Jets game. So for there to be, about 50,000 people spread out at the Bomber game and the Jets game on one evening, was pretty impressive for our city. So there's a lot of good things to go with tonight, despite the fact that the actual game itself was, as you said, a bit of a snooze fest until the last minute or so. So yeah, for maybe some. Well, I guess maybe we could get into Mark Scheifele in the top.
Yep. Yeah, no, that sounds great. I'll just keep going, and yeah, whenever Ty joins back in, that sounds great. The game itself, like I said, snooze fest. I find it interesting. You got to remember we have 2 games into the regular season. Like we're not gonna go crazy with the lines or anything, but I I would like to see some change in the top six. I love the idea of the Ehlers, Scheifele, Velarde line. Um, I think, and I love Connor as a player, but I just last year that line dominated the NHL when Connor was out, of course, with his injury. So I would like to see that given a chance, and then that of course drops Connor. I would assume with Nemesnikov and Perfetti, um, which would be good. I wouldn't hate to see that at all. Like if you remember when Kyle Connor exploded with 94 points think it was 47 goals, 46 assists, something like that, 47 assists, 94 points. He was on the second line the whole year when he had his best ever season. He was, of course, playing with Pierre-Luc Dubois and Svetch and other players, but I think honestly, I'd love to see Ehlers go up to line one and Casey go to two. And it's not a knock on Casey at all. He's a phenomenal player. Obviously, he's going to score a ton of goals. He might even break the Winnipeg Jets goal record, currently held by Ilya Kovalchuk, who never played a game for the Winnipeg Jets. So, yeah, it's just something I'd like to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of you're speaking to the tune of a lot of Jets fans, how they're kind of sick of the Connor Scheifele, Velarde. We like to see the Ehlers and Connor switch.
Yeah.
We'd like to see some young guys brought into the lineup. And yeah, I guess that's something that we can talk about now is the fact that the Jets are kind of running it back again with the same at least forward pairings. The defense took a little bit of a hit in the offseason, but our forward lines are pretty much an exact copy of night one last season, barring a few minor changes. So towards the end of training camp, we saw Brad Lambert, Nikita Chibrikov, and Elias Salamonson. The three of them were the Jets' last cuts. I think a lot of Jets fans expected at least one or two of them to make the opening night roster, but all three were sent down. So I know that they didn't all have spectacular training camps or were perfect every game. I know the Winnipeg Jets is a very hard team to break into as a rookie, where they almost expect perfection before you're called up to the NHL, and they like to let the rookies and prospects marinate in the AHL for maybe too long, or until like they're really bursting through the door. But I guess, Braden, what are your thoughts on kind of what the Jets are up to there with that plans, and when can we expect to see some of these prospects in the NHL lineup?
Yeah, no, I think it would have been nice to have start Lambert at least, and I love Chibrikov's game. Start them in the NHL, give them a game or two or three or four, especially the Moose have a very light schedule in October. So I really don't think it would have hurt at all to have them up. I do understand that you'd have to put some players on waivers if they were to stay up for that time, but it like you said, I thought Brad and Nikita and Elias Salamonson had okay preseason games. They had shifts of excellence where I thought, wow, these are great players, and then shifts where I was like, yeah, this guy could marinate in the AHL a little longer. But I think what the Jets, I think actually with Brad Lambert, you were saying what's going to be the plan there. I remember when Kyle Connor was the rookie, he had a great camp, great preseason, got sent down. It was kind of same thing as this year. Fans were a little disappointed not to see him. He went down for the Moose for 4 games. Pretty sure he had 4 or 5 goals. Got called up, never went down again. I'm expecting honestly the same from Brad Lambert. I would not be surprised if he was called up this year, maybe even this month before the end of the calendar year. Come up, play well, never go back down. I think that's a real possibility. And I love Nikita Chibrikov's game too. I think he's a little diamond in the rough, to be honest. I think he would be great in the middle six somewhere. And then from Salamonson, what I saw, solid player. I think he could stay in the AHL a little longer. It's just his first year in North America. Of course, he won the Swedish Elite League Championship last year, but I think he could use a little time in the A. I think one day he will be, if not next year, will be a top 4 D-man. He shows a lot of potential, and I like his game a lot, but I wouldn't mind seeing him marinate a little bit down there, Ty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Salamonson and Chibrikov will probably spend at least 75% of the season in the AHL. I think Lambert, there's more Lambert, obviously our top prospect, and there's more possibilities for him to join the lineup sooner than later. He just needs to go down to Manitoba Moose and just show why he's the Jets' top prospect, and show why he can be a difference maker down there and a team player. And I think if there's ever an injury in the top 6, I think you're going to see him get called up. Hopefully over the Janssen Fialbi, the Toninatos, the I guess the usual Jets call-ups. I think that Lambert's kind of ready for that role. Shifting gears today, maybe we can talk a little bit about the goaltending situation in Winnipeg. Kaapo Kähkönen was placed on waivers yesterday. Pretty surprisingly, I would say, to most Jets pundits and stuff, and the fact that Eric Comrie won the backup job behind Connor Hellebuck. And then Kähkönen getting claimed today by Colorado, which Kähkönen will now join Georgiev and Justus Anunen to make up a tandem in Colorado, which makes me seem like that Georgiev could be on the way out in Colorado, or that they're maybe just looking for a change there. But back in Winnipeg, the Jets goaltending depth is now pretty thin after Hellebuck and Comrie. We have Milik and DiVicentes in the AHL, it seems. So do you maybe expect that the team's going to go out and pick up like kind of a fringe AHL starter, NHL backup type of goalie that can, play if God forbid, and God forbid Hellebuck gets injured. Hopefully that day never happens. But if it does, there's going to be a glaring hole in the net that is going to cost the team a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think I mean Hellebuck over his career, I don't think has ever been injured, and if he has, it's maybe been a game or two. So knock on wood, he's been incredibly durable, and like you said, I hope that continues. Do I think the Jets will get another goalie? It's a great question. I like Milic a lot. He had a great season last year. I like both him and DiVicentes. I just don't think they're ready for the NHL. If someone were to go down and they had to play a backup role, I think the Jets wouldn't allow that. And if there was an injury, that's when the Jets would pick up, that fringe goalie NHLer that you were saying.
Yeah, I think that could be a possibility. I guess we'll see what kind of shakes out over the next little bit. I think that Scott Arniel will want to get Eric Comrie into some game action in the first couple of weeks here, just to see what they have. I think Comrie only played the one game early. I think that was the second Jets preseason game, and he gave up, I think, 4 or 5 goals on 20 shots. So not great, but Arniel really preached on like wasn't just about the games, but it was the practices and what the work that they put in. And I really think that it came down to Hellebuck's relationship with Comrie, the fact that Comrie's been around the Jets organization. I think Scheifele was like a best man at Comrie's wedding this summer. So there's a lot of personal connections with Comrie and the team. And I guess Kähkönen, maybe the deck was kind of stacked against him to where he had to be excellent to win the job over Comrie, which was maybe a little bit surprising. But Kähkönen's he's got a new home in Colorado, hopefully for a little bit, and hopefully he can kind of show his stuff there and not find himself on waivers again. So yeah, that's Kähkönen. And just to shift quickly to a fellow Finn, I know one of your favorite Jets, Rasmus Kupari, scored his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet against the Edmonton Oilers. And after a bit of a horrendous season last year where he went no goals and 1 assist in 28 games before a year-ending injury last year, for him to score a goal in the first game of the year. And he's looked pretty good these first 2 games. I know you had written him off maybe last year, and maybe I had too towards the end of it. Maybe I didn't love giving him the 4C role to start the year. Maybe just give a word on Rasmus Kupari and what you like about him now.
Yeah, I was absolutely thrilled to see that puck go in the net for him. It felt it's what did they say? It was over calendar year since he scored a goal, so it was huge, and it was a great goal too. He made a great play before receiving that great pass from Morrissey, I believe, and got it in the net, and that's all that matters. I was so happy to see it. Kupari, I love his speed. I do like, when we think of Kupari, we think of that fourth line center. I do like Gustafsson a lot too. He's a player, unlike Hellebuck, seems to get injured quite a bit. And Kupari, I guess, he also had a season-ending injury last season, but I like Kupari's game. I wonder, hopefully he had a good summer and maybe put in the work, and you can see him explode and get 10 goals, just like Morgan Barron did on the fourth line last year. That would be massive. I know the Jets want him to succeed, obviously, make that trade look a lot better. And you do have to remember he's a former first round pick. Like, there are high expectations of him. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he could get it together this season and stick in the NHL the whole year and be great for the Jets.
Absolutely, yeah. If Rasmus Kupari can kind of come onto that fourth line and, as you said, like be like a Morgan Barron, score 10 goals, bring some energy. Obviously, we talk about Kupari's speed a lot. He's a fast guy with a good shot that doesn't maybe shoot as much as he should. Almost like a Vesalainen, another Finn that we want to forget about. Yeah, hopefully we can have a bounce back year from Kupari and make everybody feel good about him being the 4C over David Gustafsson. Before we go, I know there was one story I wanted you to tell our viewers. Obviously, you're a bit of a Cole Perfetti fan, and
I hope not more.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Seems like it may be a Winnipeg internet issue, wide internet issue today. So, Ty, why don't you take over here?
Yes. Anyways, Braden, you're try coming out or coming in. I don't know. Anyways, back to we're talking about Rasmus Kupari and the Jets fourth line with Morgan Barron and Alex Iafallo. If that can be a solid fourth line, if that can be a line that Scott O'Neill can play, more than 5 minutes a night, like Bonus and Paul Maurice used to play the fourth line in the past. I think that it can be a big boost. They can kind of take the pressure off of the Jets top six. Having to play the big guns. 21 plus minutes a night where they can be more rested. The third line of Lowry's line that gets overworked a lot, and if we can give the fourth line some of those minutes throughout the season, I think it's going to pay off in the long run. If the Jets, if you get in the playoffs, if they want to make a playoff run, you want your guys healthy and feeling fresh going into the playoffs. And, a big part of that is the fourth line, who, if they can get an expanded role, I think it's going to play wonders for the team. Braden, is your microphone working again?
Yep. Yeah, I was chatting for a bit, so I wonder if anyone got that, but if not, that's all good. Yeah, that fourth line, I agree. I think they need to play more. I think we have seen before. I feel like we've seen Scheifele and Connor when the playoffs start get a little bit gassed, just because they used to play over 20 minutes a night. So I would love to see the fourth line play more. I think they're certainly good enough to play more, and that would only benefit the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you caught it before, but I was going to get you to tell your Cole Perfetti story that you've been dying to talk about. Was that what you were talking about when your mic went out, or maybe you talk about the jersey you got and the fact that you got it signed and kind of what all transpired there? Because it's pretty cool getting to meet one of the budding young stars in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, Cole Perfetti, it was great to chat to. It was over Christmas. He was out with a shoulder injury, I believe. And I was he walked into the
Okay. Well, it looks like Braden's we're having more technical difficulties from Braden's end. So, maybe we're gonna save the Cole Perfetti story for the next time we have Braden on. And right now it looks like we're giving kind of Winnipeg a bad name, and that we don't have, maybe as good as Wi-Fi as some places around the league. It's what it kind of feels like right now. So we apologize for tonight's technical difficulties.
Producer Conrad butting in. You're doing great. Don't worry about it. It's an early season. We're all learning.
Absolutely. And obviously a big thank you to Conrad and for the tech support and for, hosting the stream for us tonight. And thank you to the other, some of my other colleagues here at the Game Over Network for, all the great work they do and helping me through this process, as it has not been very easy or fun tonight. And this is my first time doing any kind of streaming. So for it to be a night like this, I guess we wouldn't have it any other way. So we're going to end things off here tonight. Brandon will be here for the Sunday stream against Minnesota Wild. They play on Sunday at 5:00. Myself and Braden will be attending that game. We have quarter season tickets for the Jets. So we'll take it in, and then Brandon will be there for the post-game show. And then next week, I believe starting Monday or Tuesday, Harrison Lee will be the game day host during the days, the game on host. So he will provide 5 to 10 video breakdowns on the Jets every day, weekdays, just how the season's going, how the last games went, kind of a recap just for you to get kind of all your Jets news and whatnot. So once again, I want to thank you. My name's Ty Dillelo here at Game Over Winnipeg. Thank you for bearing with us tonight, and we will see you next time. So take care and have a good night.